Our Super Nintendo collection. It's small, but it's mighty. I wouldn't say it's small. 61 games.
Yep, it's not bad.
We started these collection videos, I think, a couple months ago.
And you guys are like, man, we want to see it all.
Yeah, we want more. And so here you are. You're going to get some more. We're going to go through our Super Nintendo collection and a little behind-the-scenes information. This is the second time we're filming this because we're almost 400 episodes in, and we still don't know how to turn on our microphone. So if we happen to post the old video, it would be a lot like this. But anyway, we're here now, and it's Bad Beer Month. We have Budweiser,
The king of beers.
which
supposedly.
might be a stretch.
Definitely.
I think you're giving it too much. But you're not. People are. That's what people call it.
Yeah, that's what the people are saying.
But let's talk about video games. The Super Nintendo. We're going to go through these fairly quick, and we'll talk about some of our favorites and blab a little bit. You know how we do things.
We're going to start off with my favorite superhero of all time, and that's Batman with Batman Returns on the Super Nintendo. This is a really sweet game, but I think I like the NES versions better.
Yeah, this game's a very straightforward beat 'em up, but it is good.
Yeah.
This is a good game, and I think it's worth noting there is a counterpart on the Sega Genesis that has the exact same cover, and it looks like it's the same game. But it's a
not.
completely different game, different art style. The art style of the Genesis one is pretty cool. Not saying that the Super Nintendo art style isn't, but the Super Nintendo game, I think, is the superior game. I think most people would think that as well.
I don't understand why there's so many games from this era that are the same names on different consoles, but they're different games.
And the cover's the same. It's like,
I don't get it.
But it is what it is. So, Battletoads and Double Dragon.
Yeah, this is a really cool crossover. you know?
Yeah. I've got fond memories of playing this. I have had a friend growing up that I only recall playing 3 games with him, and he lived in a town kind of far away. This was one of the games. Super Double Dragon was one of the games, and Big Hurt Baseball. And you'll see a common theme as we go through the collection. I like having games that I play with my friends. But this game is cool. It is hard. I've never beat it, but I do have a lot of good memories playing this game.
Now moving on to Chester Cheeto. We have both of the games. I don't know why, but we do. We have Too Cool to Fool and Wild Wild Quest.
Yeah, Wild Quest. I have an affinity for Wild Wild Quest because we did that Cheeto episode at the barbershop.
Yep,
and
a while ago.
I beat that game. We beat that game. As a collective, I think you and Hogan kind of tapped out.
Halfway through, I was like, I'm over this game. And he's like, no, I'm going to beat it. Dude, it's a frustrating game.
It's kind of cool, though. The graphics are surprisingly pretty good. Controls are a little wonky. I wouldn't recommend going out to buy it, but you might fall for it like I did, because I tend to like the game. Not big fighting game fans, but I love the art style of the next one, Clay Fighter. It's not like a feather in the cap to have it on Super Nintendo. It's not like that one on the 64 Sculptor's Cut or whatever the hell it is. This is just a pretty common game, but I did get it in a lot of CIB games on the Super Nintendo, so that's why I have it.
That's pretty freaking sweet.
Yeah.
Now moving on to one of my favorite Super Nintendo games of all time, and that's Contra 3: The Alien Wars. Every time I talk about this game, I just have to say that I know Death ran it. I just have to. It's part of my my contract.
You just got a toot on your horn.
But
it's part of your contract.
Yeah, Contra 3 is phenomenal. It's a great co-op game. I just love the whole Contra franchise, Beautiful game.
This game's incredible. We have never beat it on hard, though, and that is a tall order. You got to bring your freaking lunch to work that day. It is a tough one, but amazing game. I think it's even better playing it co-op. We had a blast with it, and a game we'll go back to time and time again. Gonna lump these 3 together. Donkey Kong Country 1, 2, and Tres. I think most people out there think Donkey Kong Country 2 is the superior game.
It's a great game.
It is great, and it may be, but it's never connected with me like the first Super Nintendo game that was my very own. That's Donkey Kong Country 1. Love that game.
Beautiful game. I love the music.
Yeah.
I think 3 is the third of the 3.
For sure, yeah. I'd rank them in order that they came out, but I know a lot of people love the second one, and I'm sure it's technically superior, but it just doesn't. I like it. I don't love it like I love Donkey Kong Country.
Now we got to move on to Earthworm Jim. Such a unique, kind of edgy game.
Yeah, I think this is Gary from Rock Solid Productions, like one of his favorite games. Like he loves Earthworm Jim.
I'm gonna start calling him Jim.
Yeah, he would probably like that. The Super Nintendo version's cool. I think probably the best version out there is the one on Sega Saturn, I'm guessing. But I've always loved this game. It always gave me a Ren and Stimpy style of feel, just with how the graphics look and the vibe the game gives me. Weird game, but a very good game. Very hard game.
Moving on to F-Zero, a futuristic racer that's phenomenal. I love the whole franchise.
It started here.
It's still so much fun to go back to. I do think one of my favorites, though, in the series is on the GameCube.
I would agree.
That one is phenomenal, but it started here, baby, on the Super
did,
Nintendo.
It did, and it was using those Super Nintendo technicalities to its finest. So, what the heck, the Mode 7, whatever, I think is what it was called. Yeah. See, I know what I'm talking about. Fatal Fury, fighting game. Don't really like it.
Why do we have
I don't know. This was in a lot that I picked up. I think I got it at a garage sale or something like that for super cheap, and I just kept it because it doesn't really sell for much, and it's okay. I just am not a huge fan of the series. I know there are people who are, but it's not really my jam.
Speaking of something that you do like, though, that's Big Hurt Baseball.
Not a very good baseball game on the Super Nintendo, but it has an amazing home run derby.
Dude, it's stupid fun.
It is.
And I don't... We play it so much, and I don't know why we like it so much. It's just stupid.
The batter graphics in this, I think, are some of the best, like, when you're batting. Just the player model of the batter. Some of the best on the Super Nintendo. And they look kind of funny sometimes, but it is a really fun home run derby. We're big Home Alone fans, so we have to have Home Alone 1 and 2.
Yeah, these games
Duh.
are alright. I'd rather watch the movies, for sure.
They probably fall in the Chester Cheetah category.
Yes.
I mean, middle-of-the-road quality, but they are fun, and if you like the movies, they're worth a playthrough. Must-own titles? No.
Not really.
What's he say in the grocery store? Must-own titles? I don't think so. Do you think I would be here by myself?
I don't think so.
But, yeah, Home Alone 1 and 2.
Now we got to move on to Ken Griffey Jr. Baseball.
Major League Baseball,
dude. Professional. This is a sweet baseball game.
I think it's the best on the console. I played it as a kid quite frequently. My neighbor had it, but I just picked it up recently because Megadan 29 was doing a full season in it, and I was like, totally need to get that game again.
It was
a lot of fun.
It's so much fun watching him stream it.
Oh, yeah.
He gets so into the games.
He does, especially sports games. He's like, but that's what everybody's going to be talking about,
All
dude.
the people in the town, man, that's what they're going to be saying.
Yeah, it was a good one for sure. Killer Instinct. It's a black cartridge, folks.
Beautiful.
Where is it? It's right here. It is so cool. I've always loved this cartridge. And I'm probably going to say it several times, not the biggest fighting game fan, but this is a game by Rare. The game looks gorgeous. The arcade counterpart is far superior to this version. But I remember playing it at Skate South back in the day. I think it was there. Maybe it was Happy Joe's. I can't remember, but at a place that I would go to as a kid, and so I like this game.
We got to move on to Lawnmower Man. This game is funny.
Yeah, it's good though. I picked this up at Pink Gorilla Games. The movie's really good, but as the series goes on,
it gets so weird.
It's bizarre. I think it was the third one we watched on our way to a show once.
It doesn't even make sense what happens in the...
I can't remember what version it is. We have it on one of them on VHS, and it's kind of... But this game's okay. I wouldn't say it's epic, but it is a unique game. I do like Lawnmower Man. That's the reason I bought it. Well, I mean, Fatal Fury I bought. I didn't like that, but I got it for like $2 at a garage sale. But Madden 98, up there with, it was among the first games I got. I got this for Christmas when I got a Super Nintendo in 97. And it was the only first game and only Madden game to that point that I ever owned.
Whoa. And now you love the whole series.
Yeah, and the depth of this game for being on Super Nintendo, and I can't compare it to 97, 96, guys. When I played those, it's pretty impressive what you can do, like in the season and things like that. Madden 98, I just have it because I have it as a kid.
Now moving on to a different sport, kind of, with Michael Jordan, Chaos in the Windy City. What a weird game, but really fun, but really hard at the same time.
It's worth noting that it's not a sports game, per se.
I mean, you do dunk basketball.
Yes. It's kind of like a side-scrolling platformer / beat-em-up, but there are occasional basketball hoops.
And you play as Michael Jordan.
Yeah, and you just throw the basketball. It's pretty cool.
It's cool. We've never beat it. It's really hard.
Yeah.
But it's really fun.
Yeah, we're going to beat it one of these days. I know we are. Because when we got it, we were so happy. Remember, we streamed it the night it came in the mail?
We streamed it a couple different times.
Yeah, good times were had by a few. And those few were probably us. Mortal Kombat 2, 3, and 3 Ultimate. For not being a fighting game fan, I do love the Mortal Kombat series. It's like, I kind of am just like, oh, dude, do your fatalities.
I just want to see the fatalities and see all the crazy stuff. That's why I love like Mortal Kombat 11, I think the new one. It's just brutal.
I've always loved the style of like those motion capture graphics. And when you look into how those were achieved, it's pretty remarkable at the time what they were able to pull off. And if you're wondering why I own 3 and 3 Ultimate, good question. Not necessary. But I got 3, just base 3, in the CIB video game lot that I got, and it's CIB and it's just cool, and I like it's like a very mint box that I have, so I just kept it.
So you were like, yeah, I'm gonna keep that.
Yeah.
Then moving on to NBA Jam and NBA Jam Tournament Edition, both sweet games. We love NBA Jam.
Yeah, different rosters, and the gameplay is more refined on Tournament Edition ever so slightly. But correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section. I don't think you can break the backboard in Tournament Edition, but you can in the original.
What?
I remember my brother and I had
That doesn't
Tournament
make sense.
Edition first, and then we got the regular one at like a garage sale or something. And we got home, and I'll never forget, he dunked on me with Carl Malone, the mailman. Backboard broke. Mind was
And
blown.
you were like, what?
And I felt, it was weird, a weird feeling, because I've always loved Tournament. I'm just like, why did they take that out of that game? Maybe I just never, there's no way I never got it to happen. I've played Tournament Edition so many times. I'm pretty sure that I'm right on the mark here. Don't know why they took that out of the next game.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
But you know what does make sense? Hockey. NHL 94.
Console hockey.
This is probably one of the best hockey games. I wouldn't say it is the best, but it's definitely up there.
What would you say the best is?
NHL hits.
Yeah, I knew it. I knew it. I just had to put a quarter in.
But NHL 94 is phenomenal.
It's great. There have been folks tell me that it's better on the Genesis. Tell me why. I've never played it, so I don't know. I've only ever played the Super Nintendo version. I adore this game. Only 2-player.
Yeah, co-op.
The computer or the AI they're assholes, and it's unfair and it's a cheap game, my opinion. But 2-player, this game thrives. You get a buddy and some freaking, well, not this, but
Some better beer.
Not the beer review time. Shh.
Oh, yeah, quiet.
2-player NHL 94 though. It's fantabulous.
Now we got to move on to Revolution X. This game is alright. The only reason I like it is because of Aerosmith. Like,
Yeah. I mean, it's on the Super Nintendo. That's probably the only reason to like it.
Yeah.
It's kind of rough on the console. I think, honestly, everything's coming together now. I think I got it at the same garage sale I got Fatal Fury at. And I think it was close to when we were building out the game room, and I was like, yeah, I need a few more games on the shelf. So they're shelf packers, and now we don't need those. So
whatever garage show you went to, they just did not have very good taste in games.
Yeah, I can't remember what else I got there.
Or maybe that's why they were selling them.
I'm sure there were some other bangers that I got in there, and I was like, hey, I'll give you this for these. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. But I can't remember. But I know those two were at the same
my
time.
God.
RoboCop, good old Murphy.
Oh, yeah.
I love RoboCop. We have RoboCop 3 and RoboCop versus Terminator. Middle of the road games, but if you're a RoboCop fan, I think they're a fun play. He is very sluggish. He is very stiff. He's been popping Viagra. Yeah.
But I will say one thing, that I would buy that for $1.
I really want the RoboCop versus Terminator, like black. You know, you slide the game in the back, like box thingy.
Yeah.
It's super cool. Kind of a bucket list item. I'm not going to pay retail for one because it's just dumb. But I do want it someday. And it'll probably end up on your shelf because you have the cool Super Nintendo side.
Well, dude, get it and I'll put it over here.
Yeah.
Moving on to Rock and Roll Racing. I'm pretty sure a fan of the channel sent this to us.
For sure,
this
absolutely.
game is really
Yeah.
sweet.
I remember when he reached out and was like, hey, you guys need to play this game. And it's kind of an RC Pro-Am, but brought to the Super Nintendo era.
With a rock and roll soundtrack.
Yeah, the soundtrack's baller in that, and we haven't played it as much as we should, but it's not a game we grew up with, so it was kind of new to us. We'd heard of it. Cool game, though.
I'd buy that for $1.
Speaking of cool, let's go on to Saturday Night Slam Masters. Wrestling, bro.
Yeah, Capcom game, more of a fighting game-ish
Than
wrestling game.
wrestling, yeah.
But if you're a Capcom fan and a wrestling fan, it's kind of the best of both worlds. There are Haggers in there from Final Fight. I was going to say Street Fighter. That would have been way wrong.
People would have corrected you.
Yeah, there is a guy in there, though, that as a kid, I was like, oh, dude, he's like the Ultimate Warrior, so I pretended, that he was the Ultimate Warrior. But it's a fun game. It is a fun game. Not my favorite wrestling game on the console, but a lot of people say that it is their favorite wrestling game on the console.
It's alright. Now moving on to a very weird game. I think we just have it to be funny, and that's Shaq Fu.
Yeah, well, I think we were going down a rabbit hole, and once we got Chaos in the Windy City, and we're like, well, Michael Jordan has a pretty badass game.
So let's get Shaq's game.
Yeah, and he's a pretty limited fighter, Shaq is.
He's a pretty limited basketball player.
I mean,
so it makes sense.
I mean,
He's just a big dude.
he is, and the game's actually fun. It is a fun game. It's weird. It's a fighting game, but you kind of progress through, like, there's kind of a story mode, and you migrate forward and things like that.
It's alright. Now moving on to something that's better than alright, and that's Street Fighter 2 Turbo, a phenomenal fighting game.
Yeah, I don't know anybody that doesn't like this game. Even non-fighting game fans, there's enough simple combos in this that you can like just button mash and get lucky. Now, you're obviously going to get smoked by good people. And I've never been super good at it, but if there was a fighting game that I would be like, yeah, I'm decent, this would be the one. Mortal Kombat, I'm really good at letting people do moves to me. I've always been really good at that.
I'm really good at losing, that's for sure.
But of the fighting games that I've played, this is up there of one of the best ones.
Then moving on to a fantastic party game, that's Super Bomberman 2.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Hudson Soft made a multi-tap for the Super Nintendo for this game.
I've never played on one, but I know they did.
But I think we talked about that in our buying guide.
Yeah.
That's super cool. This is a sweet 4-player Bomberman game.
I'm going off the rails here a little bit, but I think ours is a Japanese variant of the game. It sure is, buddy.
Did you pick that up at Mo Game Con?
I did.
Yeah, I remember that now.
We got this it was like towards the end of the con, and he was like marking stuff down. He's like, I'll give you this for $1. And it wasn't $1, but it was like a couple bucks. I was like, okay. So now, technically, I mean, we collect Japanese Super Nintendo games. We only have one, but
it doesn't play in the actual Super Nintendo, right?
No, but it does play.
We have a clone console.
Yeah,
so
classic 2 HD it up.
Yeah. Now moving on to a bunch of supers, because the Super Nintendo. Super Double Dragon.
Yeah, I love this game.
Fighting game.
I think that a lot of Double Dragon hardcores are like, it's not quite what the old game used to be. But I've always loved this game, and I think it's because that friend of mine that had Double Dragon Battletoads had this one as well. And this is a game, to this day, when I put it in, I can freaking beat some meat, dude. Whoa. I'm good at this game.
I am not.
Yeah, I'm good at this game. It is a game that I played a ton. I remember the Double Dragon Battletoads game we would play, but just get freaking smoked in. And so this one I played a lot more. The Super Game Boy, can you call that a game? But it unlocks the ability to play lots of other games.
And it's on our game shelf. Yeah. So it counts as a game.
Yeah.
What a cool accessory for the Super Nintendo.
Kind of a must-own, I think. It's just always badass to play Game Boy games on the TV.
Yeah.
And I know there's a lot of ways to do that.
But back in the day, man, that was freaking phenomenal. Now moving on to Super Mario All-Stars. This is such a sweet, like, multi-cart, I guess.
Yeah.
Before multi-carts were a thing.
Yeah, you know, there were some other, like, sports games on the NES that did that a little bit. And, like, you know, Duck Hunt and Mario. But at the time when this came out, it was just, like, that much value in one game.
Yeah.
Yes, please. And at the time, I don't know how you felt about it when you first discovered this game, but I really hated that they dicked with the original Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah, it's every time I play it, I'm like, it feels like a knockoff.
They gave it like the Mario 3 coat of paint, if you will. Later in life, as a collector, I kind of like it because it's a different version and I've already got the original one. But when I was a kid, I was like, why'd they mess with it? And then I hear some people say they really like that version, but man,
they're wrong.
I never have liked it as much as the original, but it's kind of cool now in hindsight. But at the time, I was like, why I oughta.
I'm going to take that out on the racetrack with Super Mario Kart.
Yeah.
This game started it all, and it's still so much fun, and the battle mode in this game is phenomenal.
Yeah, if you can't get behind that old school first swag, you know, 3-dimensional racing and that Mode 7 type of stuff or whatever, I still think this game's worth owning for battle mode. That original battle mode is tight. It's really good.
It's so much fun. And you know what else is super fun? Super Mario World. Arguably one of the best Mario games ever made.
Yep.
One of the best games ever made. Beautiful. I love this game.
Yoshi's, first time he could be ridden by a human being that I can remember.
I love getting on Yoshi.
I like that this game, as much as we've played it throughout our lives, that I'm pretty sure there's still areas we haven't discovered as far as, you know, under the maps. And
there's so many areas you can go to. I love how you can, like, use Portal. It's just so cool.
Yeah, and I think we're pretty good. I think we know where most, like, the keys are to unlock the secret areas and stuff, but it's just a lot of fun to be had if you are into grinding a game out and figuring everything out.
Moving on to Super Metroid. This game is really cool.
I think this is the best in the Metroid series, and you even lump the Prime games in there. Super Metroid is world class. I'm super pumped for the new one, Metroid Dread.
Yeah, because it looks very unique, and it's kind of going back to the old style.
Yeah, I just don't know that they'll live up to this, but Super Metroid's just incredible.
It's a phenomenal game. Now moving on to Super Punch-Out. It's crazy how different this game is than the NES version.
It's wild.
But it's still really good.
It's like they almost just drew up a completely different game. They did drop in some of the same characters from the first game, which is cool. Gives you that familiarity with the game, but it was a game took me a long time to get into. I remember playing it as a kid and being like, eh. Then as an adult, didn't really care. And then Megadan29, that SOB, said, dude, give it a go. It's my favorite Super Nintendo game of all time. And I'm like, okay. When the legend speaks, Sensei listens. And so I tried it again. I love it now. So thank you,
I
Mega
just
Man
don't
29.
understand why one of the fighters has a stick. That's
Yeah.
not even fair. But we got to move on to Super RBI Baseball. It's RBI Baseball. Super.
Yeah, RBI Baseball on the NES is an icon. This game isn't. I remember getting it as a kid and being like, yeah, this is going to be great. It's not bad. It's still fun, but it doesn't have the charm of RBI Baseball.
You know what does have charm, though? Super R-Type. This game is so cool, and we have a really sweet copy of it.
Yeah, ours actually has R-Type 3 and Super R-Type. It's not an original cart. It's part of that, it was a limited run, did a collector's edition.
Blue cartridge.
Yeah, and we love our shooters. We love R-Types. We're like, yeah. And the collector's edition now is, I think it's worth, like, quite a bit.
Yeah, I'm
I think
so
it's
glad.
north of 200.
Holy crap. I'm so glad we got that, because it came in a really cool box.
Yeah.
Now we got to move on to another one of my favorite Super Nintendo games, and that's Super Smash TV.
You're obsessed with this game.
Dude, I don't know why I like this game so much, because it's so stupid. And it's just fun, man.
It's a game show, and you kill people for toasters and money.
Toasters
and
and gold bars and
Yeah.
TVs, and
yeah, it's awesome.
so stupid.
Yeah, this game's kind of expensive on Super Nintendo.
Is it really?
Yeah. It's not like way up there, but for those of you, if you want to get into Super Smash TV, like just Smash TV in general, the arcade version has an awesome port on the Midway Classics arcade #1.
Yeah, Volume 1.
Legit.
Which I think is available on PS2 and Xbox and maybe GameCube.
I think you're right.
Yep.
And you get to play with, if you have the PS2 controller, twin sticks.
Makes the game a lot
Pretty
smoother.
awesome. And
Yeah.
it's not Super Smash TV, but it's the original arcade one. But they're both really fun.
That's a little hidden nug for
Little
you.
nug.
Then moving on to 2 Star Wars games. We got Super Star Wars and then Super Star Wars Empire Strikes Back. These games for the time were really cool, but going back to them, they're alright.
I've always been kind of lukewarm with these games.
Yeah.
They're cool. I like Star Wars, so I kind of like them. They're decent. Some people really like them. Neither one of them have been like, yeah, I gotta play these. They're okay. They're nothing special in my opinion. Tecmo Super Bowl and Tecmo Super Bowl 3. We don't have 2, but Tecmo Super Bowl 3 is a crowning achievement for me in life, because when I was in college, I had went home I can't remember if it was a break or what, and I got my Super Nintendo and some of my games. And that was the first game I bought when I got back into collecting, was Tecmo Super Bowl 3.
That got you back into collecting.
Final edition. And from that point forward,
Because of that game, this is here.
a lot of it, yeah, I started chipping away and just picking up, weird stuff here and there, and games were a lot freaking cheaper back then when I was in college. I mean, way back when Moby Dick was a minnow. Yeah, that was the game. That was the turning point, and I've never looked back.
Speaking of Tecmo Super NBA Basketball. I'd much rather play NBA Jam.
For sure, it's okay. It's not on the level of sports games that the Tecmo Super Bowl games are.
Yeah.
But it's okay.
A for effort, I guess. But this game definitely gets an A, and that's TMNT 4, or should I just call it Turtles in Time? One of the best games.
Yeah, one of kind of the best games in our collection too. I mean, this it just delivers every time.
It's awesome. My toes.
Mhm.
It's such a fun game. It gets hard though towards the end.
Yeah, it's really cool. Hyperstone Heist we just recently got as well, but just this era of Turtles beat 'em ups, and there's a new one on the way.
Oh,
New Turtles beat 'em
I
up.
hope they don't mess it up.
I do too.
Is it by Konami?
I don't think they're involved, but from what I've seen, I think the company involved with it's the company that did the Streets of Rage 4.
Oh,
Possibly?
okay, and that was phenomenal.
I may be way wrong on that. Don't take that to the bank.
They're gonna
but
be like, you're way wrong.
look it up, and the game, at least initial visuals on it are like, okay, they're going down the right path. But anyway, this is about Super Nintendo, not modern stuff. So Turtles in Time, it's epic, and it's really climbing up there in price. But it is a game that I think is worth every damn penny.
Yeah, it is so good, especially if you love that co-op experience. Now moving on to Tetris / Dr. Mario. This is a cool multi-cart again. I will say that I prefer the original Dr. Mario than this version of Dr. Mario. The way it looks kind of bothers me because it's slightly different. And then they modified the music too,
Yeah.
which that drives me nuts.
So it's the same songs, but like modernized, or what
And
they thought
yeah,
was modernized.
It just, I understand what they were trying to do, but I just don't like it. It's cool that I have a complete box. It's cool, but I like the original better. And Tetris is just Tetris.
Yeah.
It's aight.
Yeah. Shooters. Thunder Spirits. This is a port of the Thunder Force arcade game, and it's pretty good. It's not as good as the Thunder Force Genesis games, so don't be like, oh my god, there's a Thunder Force game. It's close. It's good. It's not like all world good, which those games are.
I think it is one of my favorite shooters, though, on the Super Nintendo.
It is. This game is really freaking cool. I can't remember. I think we found out about this. I can't remember who was really telling us about it. We're like, yeah, we got to play that again. And we were like,
Somebody.
Yeah, this is really cool. But
Now moving on to Total Carnage. This game kind of reminds me of Smash TV.
yeah, this gives a really cool run and gun, 2-player action.
Chaotic
arcade.
and carnage.
We picked it up just recently. I remember playing this in the arcades, but I think Newland was like, dude, you guys need to get this. And picked it up and dabbled with it a little bit.
And we were
Really
like,
cool game.
Okay, we're going to
Yeah.
keep this. Now moving on to Toy Story, one of my favorite movies. So I love this game. This game looks beautiful still. Plays pretty well. I just love Toy Story.
It's really cool. And dude, can I tell you something? You got a friend in me. You got a friend in me. That's from the bottom of my heart, buddy.
Oh, it sounds like it's from the bottom of the composer's heart.
Anyway, UN Squadron's the next game we have.
That's
Capcom shooter.
up there for a really good shooter. you
Yeah,
know?
as far as best on the console,
Yeah.
I'd say Thunder Spirits in this one. They're up there. A lot of people probably take UN Squadron over it. I like just the Thunder Force type stuff a little bit better, but it is a badass game.
It's a badass shooter.
We got a great deal on this at a convention in Illinois just recently.
Yeah.
So
Our first convention after COVID.
got it on the DL for real. He had it mispriced, and he even noticed it and said, "You know what? I'm going to honor my price, buddy. Good
And
looking
that's called
out."
sniping.
Yeah.
Now moving on to some wrestling games. We got Super WrestleMania, Royal Rumble, and Raw.
Yeah, all those LJN wrestling games. Super WrestleMania is okay, pretty depleted roster, not much interaction outside of the ring, and it is worth noting Super WrestleMania, is that what it's even called on the Genesis, or is the Super? It is called Super WrestleMania. This version has the Ultimate Warrior in it. That one doesn't.
Why? Why,
And the
why are they
Ultimate
gonna be
Warrior,
different?
though, in this, his player model, he looks like an asshole. Like, I don't know what they did to his player model in this game, but anyway, if I had to play one of those two, I'd rather play it on the Genesis. Royal Rumble, getting a little better, a little different roster. You can get out of the ring. There's some
Ooh.
things you can do outside of the ring. And then Raw, just because it starts off with the wow.
Is that the theme song?
Yeah, from back then. It starts out like that, and it just teleports you back to when Raw was badass. And so I would say that's my favorite wrestling game on the console. Even though it's not that great. It's got that tug-of-war grapple
it's
system.
mostly just back and forth, back and forth. I mean, they're
Come
fun.
on, baby.
Yeah, they're fun to play for a little bit. Now moving on to a game that I don't know why we have. From the creator of Tetris,
Yeah.
Wild Snake.
His second song was not as big a hit as his first.
No. He was grasping at straws or snakes, I guess. Dude, this game... As a puzzle game fan, I thought I would like it.
Yeah.
And I don't.
It is worth noting, though, we do have a CID.
Yes. So that's why we don't get rid of it.
I don't know why.
I don't even know if that's a proud thing to say.
Well, when you find something CIB like that is meant as ours is at a garage sale, it's a good sign it wasn't a good game because nobody was touching that son of a
It's
bitch.
just sitting there.
Yeah.
I think even the creator who made it is on the box.
Yeah, his picture is. Like, people are going to recognize him.
Yeah, people.
Like, oh, that's the guy that created Tetris.
No,
Who knows what he looks like?
I do now.
Yeah, there'll be a flood in the comments, I'm sure. But Zelda Link to the Past, another must-own game that's in our collection. A lot of people say it's the best Zelda game ever made.
It's pretty good.
It's up there
It's
for
up
me.
there, yep.
I still like the first one the best. I'm just weird like that. NES. Born and raised.
Born and raised. And then the last game in our collection is Zombies. Ate My Neighbors.
I'm sorry to hear that, dude.
Oh, yeah, it sucks, man. I can't get over it.
Yeah.
And they were new neighbors, too. They just moved in.
Hope they tasted good.
I did get a little bite of it. It was pretty. It was a little salty. But the 55 undead levels, this game is so much fun, especially co-op. It's a bucket list to beat this game.
Yeah, it's going to be a grind,
It's going to
man.
be so hard.
Yeah, we have it on Genesis as well. I don't know what differs between the two. I've only dabbled a little bit on the Genesis one, but the Super Nintendo one I've played the hell out of. It's a crown jewel in the collection.
Those are the games we have.
61 of them.
61 of them. And then we have a regular Super Nintendo.
Mhm.
We have the Super Nintendo Junior.
Yep,
Or Mini or whatever. And then we also have 2 Super Nintendo Classics.
Yeah.
Which I'm glad we have those because they're hard to find now.
Yeah, and ours have, somehow they have a lot more games than what came on them.
Yeah, I wonder how that happened.
I don't remember.
I don't
Too
remember.
many beers ago.
But I'm glad that it is
Yeah.
back.
Well, I think we bought the limited edition ones. Have you guys heard of those?
Yeah.
I think there was like only 500 of them made.
And we somehow got 2 of them.
Yes, be on the lookout for those. But we've got a couple unofficial games too, but I think since we're doing our whole collection, we should talk about them. We got Zelda BS, which this was a reskin of the original Zelda, and it was available via like the Nintendo satellite thing. You can Google it and figure it out, but it's pretty cool if you're a fan of the original Zelda game. And we got that as a gift from our good friend BK, our good friend JLove81, Jen. We did a little trade for this sexy green cartridge, Luigi at the Island of Mystery. I think we traded, I gave her a hat for this because her and I are hat soulmates. Really cool hack here. And then we also have a Super Nintendo multi-cart, which is just a very useful thing to have, especially when you're gaming in the garage or on the road. And that kind of puts a lid on what we have for games for the Super Nintendo.
We gotta talk about this bad beer month beer. Budweiser, the king of beers. What an iconic look. You know, Budweiser, it's an icon. For an American lager, this is not very good.
Best thing I can say about this beer is I miss the commercials from the 90s.
That's the best thing you can say about the beer.
Yeah. And do you remember, guys, the commercials? This is not Budweiser, but why ask why? Try a Bud Dry. I remember saying that when I was a kid and my parents getting mad at me. And I was just like, what am I doing wrong?
I'm just
like, you should be saying that. But this, I've never been a huge fan. If I go to a baseball game or like an event down at Wells Fargo Arena, something like that, and this is the only heavy beer, I would take this over a lot of light beers.
Yes, that is true. It has a weird skunkiness to it, but not super skunky. This beer is just, it's probably, I know we've had a lot of weird ones, but this is probably my least favorite so far, Bad Beer Month.
I totally agree. It's middle of the road. It does the job. It's okay. I would definitely drink PBR, Hams, High Life, Schlitz.
Rolling Rock.
Oh, that's a... Okay.
Yeah.
Grain Belt.
Yikes.
Even though Grain Belt does taste like rusty corn.
It does, and
Yeah.
I'm so excited to review that.
Yeah.
This is just... I thought since it's our first beer of the day, it was actually going to be better.
It was going to help its cause.
It doesn't.
Yeah. It's okay. Nothing great.
Whatever. It's not super, that's for sure.
And
like the Super
every
Nintendo is.
Budweiser fan right now is like, I'm out. Deuces. And we're out. We just gotta be. The second time we filmed this freaking episode, not back to back. We did take a full day off because I'm like, we're not going through those games again. But it turned out about the same as the other one. We only know one speed, and that's full throttle. Yeah. Thanks for hanging out and enjoying our Super Nintendo collection with us. We will see you next time right here on Gaming Off the Grid and for another edition of Bad Beer Month.
Ooh.
We'll see you around. There'll be a flood in the comments, I'm sure. Zelda Link to the Past. The King of Beers.
Take 2.
Ready, fight. Get the old hats off the kings. Crowns.
Lame.
Cheers. Budweiser. But I was happy as a lark to get that.
Happy as a clam.
Yeah.
Speaking of clams, one of the best clams in basketball, I think, is Michael Jordan. He's so good. Michael Jordan and the Windy City